I feel as if I've been away for a long time, as if I've been locked away in some kind of eternal slumber. My consciousness aware of every second that passed, but still neither able to see or hear, locked away and forgotten to the ages, as if somebody hasn't been updating Diablo content for a year, and they forgot about me and locked me away, thinking I would disappear. But that doesn't happen. No, you stupid man. Didn't I tell you I would cut you? I told you I would. Oh, you thought, he's just a harmless old man who lost his friends who died in front of him, burned in Tristram's fires. No, it's not like he'll take a knife and stab you in the face. No, he wouldn't do that. It wouldn't be prudent. It would not be a good thing to do for the last of the Horadrim. No. Please, stay a while and get stabbed in the face repeatedly. So, heroes, I welcome you back to the adventures of the Witch Doctor. Dear God, what happened to your pants, lad? They're gone, as if he was robbed. Or perhaps it was an account compromise. No, ladies and gentlemen, the problem here is that there hasn't been a Witch Doctor video in about a year. You might be confused as to why the video number is so high, but that's okay, because soon the new expansion? Wait, I wasn't aware of this. Excuse me, who is the hero? Who is the focus of the mouth hail? What? It's not about me and my triumphant return. No, Deckard Cain. No, of course, Deckard Cain is dead, they say. No, Deckard lives. He lives on in all our souls. Yes, that's it. Blizzard is dead to me now. This franchise is terrible. It was supposed to be out the rise of the Horadrim. You can't just bring it back because an angel says so. I was the last of the Horadrim. Oh, you can't just say, we're Horadrim now, we're back now. No, it doesn't work that way. This is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Ladies and gentlemen, before I digress too further into the machinations of old demented Cain, we are back. This is Witch Doctor number 29, I believe, approaching on 30. So yes, we are back with Rafiki, and yes, his gear is gone because, as you may see, he is level 1. And we are doing this because Reaper of Souls is coming out in less than a month, and the game has changed dramatically, and I really think it would be good to start over. And I think it'll work, and I think it might still be entertaining, because the skills that I went over last time I played through the game are so different now. In fact, there were a lot of changes before the Reaper of Souls changes. Changes to things like Firebats, channeled abilities in general, where they were much more powerful than they were last time. But leveling is very different now, and you level a lot quicker, and monsters scale with you. So we should see me getting through the axe with a lot more levels, and we should only have to go through once. I believe we were going through the Scoundrel, and what I'll do is I'll go through it with the Scoundrel again. So we'll grab Lyndon and play with him, and listen to, of course, his dialogue as we go. So, we were in Act 2, I believe, but we're going to be starting over. Let's just kind of see the differences here. We have Adventure Mode, which will unlock on Reapers, and, of course, the Campaign Mode will be starting there. Act 1, Fallen Star. We're going to change the difficulty up a bit. You can go up to Expert before you get a level 60 character. Going to Act 4 gives you Master. Getting a 60 character gives you Torment, and the 6 levels of Torment slider. Here's the big thing and why this is going to be interesting. You take a look at normal, baseline experience. Hard gives you 75% additional. Expert, 100%. Bounties don't matter because we don't have that mode. We are going to get double experience if we play it on Expert, and that's decent. But then you go into Master, 200%. So that's triple the experience. Imperial gems can also drop from level 61 higher. Doesn't matter, we don't have Reaper.
This alone is enough to give you massive levels, and this is what I was leveling on the PTR when that came out. But what we're going to do is we're going to go into Torment, I think. We're going to actually play with Torment as a leveling experience. They did reduce the leveling, or did reduce the difficulty of all levels up to Torment 1. Torments 2 through 6, I believe, are mostly unchanged. But you can see the difference, 300% here. So we're going to get like quadruple experience, basically. We can't see the differences in bounties. We can't see the gems. New legendary items will become available, but that's only at level 70. But we do get additional gold XP and legendary drop rates per slider tick. And you can see even as it goes up, it goes from 3 to 4 to 5. Then it goes to 550 at Torment 3, 800, 1150, 1600. So great, we're going to play with this. Now, I was going to do Torment 1, but there is something that they've done in the game, and that's allowing you to reduce the difficulty as you play. Now, since I play softcore, not hardcore, we're going to do that. We're going to kind of see what kind of baseline leveling experience we can do. Now, I am going to be making liberal use of the crafting system because of this. Because you're really, if you're going to put this in there, you're going to get lots of monster health and damage. So I'm going to really have to keep up on the gear. So hopefully, again, this might be interesting and entertaining to kind of watch this character grow up again from where he was. We didn't even get to Inferno last time, so I'm hoping to kind of change that, get up to at least maximum level. I'm thinking Torment 3 is where I'm going to start as a baseline, because 4, 5, and 6 are really meant for having lots of gear. Torment 3 is kind of the realm that a lot of people go when they have a lot of gear. Now, I don't know how this is going to feel from a leveling perspective. If it's too much, we'll turn it down. So we'll start with 3, and we'll go in and see how long it takes. And what I'll do is I'll go through, and we're going to just do it just like I did before. We're going to make this kind of an analytic playthrough. I'm going to go through the kind of build options, because not only have the abilities changed, and some abilities are very different now, but the order in which certain skills have been earned has been changed. So we're going to deal with that. Not only that, but here's the fantastic thing, is they have guaranteed legendary drops on certain bosses now, end-act bosses. So I'm going to start finding some items. If you remember in my old Witch Doctor playthrough, I don't think I found any legendaries by the time I stopped playing. So, and that's really sad. You know, I go through the whole game through, what did we go through? Normal, and we were working through Act 2 Nightmare. And I was a pretty decent level. I was, what, in the 40s and 50s? I'd have to go back and look. In fact, let's kind of look at the Switch heroes here. We'll look at the old Rafiki. 43. So, I mean, and he was doing pretty good. Let's kind of look at him and look at what kind of stuff we had on him. How can I do that? Let's view statistics for the hero. And can I look at my gear? I think I'd have to go into the auction house. This is going away soon, so it's kind of a shame I can't look at this later. Yeah, not a single legendary on this character. A few rares, smattering of blues. So, yeah, nothing too grand. But, you know, he was cool. I enjoyed him, had a lot of fun with him. So we're going to play again, and we're going to see about getting legendaries, because one thing that Blizzard has confirmed is that they've got a system in place that if you go a couple of hours in the game, I believe they said 2 hours is the baseline that they want, where you start finding legendaries. They say, you know, if you play for a couple hours, you should at least be finding something. Now, there's not a lot of low-level legendaries, so we may not find something right away. But by the time we kill the first act boss, by the time we kill the Butcher, we should find something. And let's just see how fast we level, because I'm really interested to see how quick I'm going to get to max level before I beat the game. Will I beat the game before I get max level? I might not, because Torment is going to give me a lot of experience. So we're going to start the game, and I have turned off the cutscenes, so that's going to be interesting. I want to see if it even bothers loading them, or if it just goes right into the game in certain parts. So I don't have to skip the cutscenes myself. We've already gone through pretty much all the story. The only things I will basically stop for is to listen to Lyndon's chat when that comes up. Of course, I have to go and unlock him. That is the one downside to the whole normal Nightmare, Hell, Inferno thing going away, is that with those modes, I had to play through the game over and over again, and you unlocked your followers for each playthrough, and then I could go through the game and listen to the banter between my character and my followers whenever that occurred. So here we go.
The air is heavy with death. The fallen star is near.
So looking at my first skill, instantly you may notice too, the damage type of the weapon or the skill now shows up in the title of the bar when you're in advanced tooltip mode. So this is a deadly poison dart, deals 155% weapon damage as poison, and it does an additional 40% over 2 seconds. So a lot of abilities like this, getting a damage increase. Okay, that took 9 hits just to kill a basic zombie. Let's go ahead and lower it. So we're going to go in here. We're going to go lower. Oh, hello? Why is this even here? You'll have to forgive me. I didn't even know this was here. Raise difficulty. You cannot increase the difficulty any higher without starting a new game. I wonder when that was added, because I don't remember that button being even there. So we're going to bring it down to Torment II. I think we'll be fine with Torment I. Torment II might still be a bit much. Okay, yeah, it's definitely taking a while for these characters. So let's go ahead and bring it down to Torment I. Because we don't want to spend forever taking these out. Because the whole point of leveling, and the beautiful thing about leveling, is that you don't have to have a you don't have to make it super challenging to get the levels you need. Oh wow, look, I'm level 2 already. And I haven't even gotten to the gates yet. The big thing is you want to be efficient. You want to be able to kill quickly, but you want to have at least some challenge as well. I don't believe in pure efficiency. I don't like having just 100% efficiency. I like to also have something of a challenge. So here we go. Grasp of the Dead. It is physical. 150 mana, 8 seconds. Hands reach out from the ground, slowing enemy movement by 60% and dealing 560 weapon damage over 8. So one of the things they did change is anything with a slow kind of has a higher slow now. We're going to see a lot of 60%. And a lot of abilities that were meant to be slows, like Grasp of the Dead, wasn't really a ability that was... I mean, it was good as a slow, but there were some abilities that were meant to be. That's what they did. Those abilities typically now have their slows increased to like 80% now. Quite a bit. Go ahead and put that down.
Needs more time.
Yeah, this is feeling about right.
Not ready yet.
Still a little slow in killing, but there we go. I've already gotten level 3 and I haven't even gotten to the end yet. I mean, this is pretty amazing. Alright, so one change to the Witch Doctor is this. Witch Doctors now have signature spells. They didn't have that before. One of the mechanics of the Witch Doctor was that we had spells that were very weak or very low in mana cost, but they were so low in mana cost that our mana regeneration should have still given us mana back. But one of the problems with that is if you build a very high attack speed build, is you could still manage to make it so your signature spells weren't really giving you back mana. So now they don't cost you any mana at all, which is good to see. So Corpse Spiders, physical. Throw a jar with 4 spiders that attack nearby enemies for a total of 216 weapon damage as physical before dying. Now, is that 216 in total or 216 per spider? Because that's 155 per dart. But it's also 40% damage after that. So this becomes what? 195? So that's a bit more damage, and that's each spider. Maybe that is per spider. We're going to go ahead and put that on. We're going to go ahead and try the Corpse Spiders. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and check real quick. We want to make sure that the advanced tooltips are on. Yep. Which, you know, I figured they were because of the bars up top. But now we have 2 physical damage abilities. And before I move on, I've got 3 messages pending. Let's go ahead and grab my Blade Wings. I've got my Angelic Wings, Cloud and Smoke. And we've also got this, a little canine. This is for the Collector's Edition of Reaper. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the Imperious Wings. That was something else that was supposed to be added. Let's just go ahead and put these in here. Now, unfortunately, these books they're gonna stack at least. All of my materials have been condensed. You can see they've all been turned into... This was the thing I wasn't expecting. Demonic Essence. This is what the Tomes of Training and things like that, the blacksmithing pages and things like that, were all turned into. I really wasn't expecting that. I thought they were going to continue to use that system, and they ultimately did not. I'm taking up a full bar here, but I think that's okay because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have myself a nice permanent pet. And I don't know what you guys think. I think I'm going to go ahead and have some bone wings because I'm going to have some fun with that. Just because I'm a witch doctor. I'm going to have the spirits with me.
For many years, villagers were too afraid.
You are
There we go. No, I think it's a total of, yeah, it's not
more time.
because my darts were doing a bit more. You can see the spiders themselves. What saddens me is I'm not really seeing the damage numbers. I'm not sure what's going on there. So what that means is that each spider that's splitting that damage into fourths. So what is it? Each spider is doing about 50? Okay. I'm already level 4.
We've been under siege for 6 days now.
Go ahead and turn that off. I mean, we're doing pretty good here. I mean, already level 4. Let me see. Nothing new here. What have we got? Still have Grasp of the Dead. And now we have Summon Zombie Dogs. So, great. 45-second cooldown. Summon 3 dogs from the depths to fight to your side. Each dog deals 12% of your weapon damage as physical. So, we're looking at 36 damage, roughly. No, wait. 3, 4, 6. 39. Not bad. Not bad. 45 seconds. You may notice, too, that the mana cost of the dogs has also been taken off. So, there we go. I've got 3 zombie dogs, plus my little specter guy. Look at that. He's so cute. We run as a pack. Let's look at my buffs. I have the experience gain is increased by 50%. Oh, that's right. There's a community buff. So I'm leveling even faster. So what you're seeing here is not really a baseline for Torment. There is a 50% experience buff going on because of Reaper of Souls coming out. So they've basically given us giving us additional experience for that so we can level up. So this is going to go pretty fast because of this right here. So I'm getting the 50% here, and I'm getting like the 300% as well. So while we're here, I mean, I can already start making some items. The downside is I don't really have a lot of common debris. I am sitting, it looks like on 1, exactly 1. Let me take a look here. Yeah, I only picked up 1 with my travels. So I need more of that. There's a downside to that. So with this Reaper of Souls coming out, they made it so that white items needed to be more important, right? I don't disagree with that. White items, you know, there were a lot of white items on the ground, so it would have been nice to have them be more useful. But then they said, okay, we're going to make it so less white items drop, more blues and yellows and things like that drop. So I feel like they should have done one or the other, not both. I'm going to be very honest there. I think maybe doing both was a bit much. I was going to keep throwing spiders their way, slowing them down. Yeah, I'm not doing a crap ton of damage yet. We need to get some items. Either I need to get some white items and start crafting with them, or hell, I just need some white items to equip. So Torment's going to go a little slow at first, but once I start getting some items, especially I think once I start crafting, we'll be able to see the change here. Are my dogs dead? I think my dogs are dead. My dogs died. Wow. That's not good. Alright, so I mean you can already see that like items are just not really dropping. By now you would think 1 or 2 white items would have dropped.
Need more time.
Let's go ahead and go around here. Whoa, health potion. Already using a health potion, right? Here I am, level 4. I'm using a health potion. Level 4 health potions giving you 60% of your health now. There is not tiers of health potions anymore. I have to admit, I like that change.
Need more time.
Oh, hey, here we go. Armor. And, of course, it already equipped it. This is the Reptilian Cloth of Slaughter. So, regenerate life per second and experience per kill. So, the itemization is going to be very different. Well, you know what? There's a gameplay thing I want to turn on. Because I like this. Where is it? Show icons for dropped items. That's pretty cool. You'll probably see it as I play. It's little icons instead of text. I don't know why I saw text that time instead of an icon, but hey. I like it because it's just, I don't really read the text on the ground anyway. I want to admit, I'm really liking the slow on Grasp of the Dead. It is much better than it used to be. It's really slowing them down. I feel like it is actually keeping them from getting to me. These spiders do a grand total of do more damage, but they are splitting their damage across different monsters, so it is not as focused and helpful as I would like it. Now, against that one guy, of course it is, but outside of that, they are taking a while to kill. I'm getting close to where I'm going to get another skill, so we're just going to go ahead and keep at it. We're going to keep the difficulty where it is. It's definitely taking longer.
The way opens before you.
There it is, level 5. Barely out of Tristram. And level 5. And excellent. I'm going to get Firebats. I think I'm going to enjoy this. Alright, zombie dogs. I love you, but I don't think you're doing me much justice. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep them for now. We're going to stick, like I did before, I'm going to kind of stick to a build that would work with non-elective mode and see how that works. And then from there, we will try and make a build out of it. Firebats is great. They've increased the damage of all these channeled abilities where you have to stay still. Also, Firebats now does a large amount of mana initially and then a very small amount of mana as you channel it. So fiery bats burn enemies in front of you for 425% damage as fire. Once I get a better weapon, this is really going to help. So we're going to go ahead and do that. That's the big thing right now is I don't have a weapon. Once I find a weapon, that's going to be the game changer here. Oh yeah, the map thing. This is kind of cool. You can actually go to a map. You can go to any waypoint you want while you're in the world. It's when you get your Hearthstone or teleport. Oh yeah, this is much better. Look at that. We're doing a lot more damage.
I do not have enough mana.
Unfortunately, I'm low on mana here, so I'm just going to do that, channel it. So the initial cost is pretty high, so I'm not able to really put out the Firebats right away. Oh, Nephilim Glory. Here we go. Now things are going to start picking up a bit. That's going to give me more damage. Oh dear. This is why we play on softcore. This is a very risky build,
I need mana.
even at this level. So getting faster movement speed, blast of energy that hurts enemies, and of course further globes will intensify the effect. Level 1 doesn't look like much. I have kind of a small glowish build. You know, you can see a little bit of a golden glow to me, which is cool. But once I get more of that, you start seeing yellow lightning and things like that, and it looks really cool. What I think I would like to do is forfeit the dogs, get myself the oh, hey, a bow. There we go. Get myself a bow. Yeah, it's exactly what I wanted. Get myself basically the Grasp of the Dead, slow them down so then I can use the Firebats and keep them from getting close. I think that would work out. I think I really want to get rid of the spiders too. I mean, they're supposed to do a lot of damage, but they're just not. I'm not really feeling it. I think I would rather have the bats. Granted, I can lob these things, which is one beautiful thing about this spell, is I can throw these at a distant enemy, not have to worry about enemies in front of me because they're going to hit whatever target I want. I don't know. We'll have to see on that one. I do have a decent weapon now, though, a 9.8, 1 to 2 damage. So we can already see that's 226.7% damage boost. We're going to go ahead and do that. I now have some decent damage. I mean, I'm going to be finding these things with... It doesn't show the item level here. It doesn't look like, right? No. But they're going to be item levels around my level now. So we're going to start seeing some decent damage out of these spiders and out of these bats now. Now you can see the spiders are actually starting to do... damage, enough damage that it's showing up on the monsters now. Before it really wasn't. They were doing like less than 1 or 2, I think, a hit because of that. They were doing fractions. But now I've got decent damage. You can just kind of see the numbers finally showing up. Their health is melting away much faster now.
I do not have enough mana.
Just constantly throwing spiders his way. That's how we use bows as witch doctors. We don't fire arrows. We just carry it around because it looks cool. I mean, would you want to mess with this guy with bone... Ow, hey, wait, hey! Would you want to mess with this guy with bone wings and a bow in his hand? I don't think you would. I think you'd want to get the hell away. Hey, a sash. Excellent. So, what kind of item did I get there? Golden health pickup radius. Oh, that won't help me too much. But that's okay. A lot of the item affixes have really been changed. Oh, there's a second chest here. That's new. Oh. So survivability stats and damage stats are going to start kind of showing up a bit more. Oh, hey, there we go. A simple dagger. White item, 7.5. I can now disenchant both of those and turn them into common debris, which means I can start crafting a little bit. That's nice. And we've already spent like 19 minutes from when I started playing here, pretty much, to this point. And we're barely out of Tristram. So that's the downside to what we're doing right now. And starting over with this Torment mode is that it is going to take me longer to get anywhere. But I think once I start finding items, we'll start seeing this being less and less of an issue. And once I get more and more skills, right? Because right now I'm doing some baseline skills. I don't have a chance right now of really making a standardized build yet. I'm kind of at the mercy of everything that I have. Quill Fiends. Oh, hey, health globe. But I think it can be interesting. Right, and I'm hoping it is, and I'm looking for feedback. Please do give feedback. Those of you who have watched the series in the past, those of you who may be watching it now for the first time, who've never seen me do kind of this analytic playthrough as I go through in Diablo and play this Witch Doctor. Right now, there's not too much to talk about because there's no builds to make, but normally I will go through and I'll talk about builds, how these skills work, and how they can work together. Okay, great. We've got a better starting skill. We've got Splinters. But anyway, again, I'm looking for feedback onto what you guys think. You know, do you like this? Do you like the fact that it's taking longer to kill? I mean, is it because this is kind of... It's definitely more of a challenge. It is far more of a challenge than it was before. Monster Power 10 in the old version before 2.0 was a challenge, but you found more items, typically. So, I'm wondering if it just kind of evened itself out.
There's chaos everywhere.
Because you have to remember, when I did this, when I originally started this Witch Doctor, Monster Power didn't exist, right? Then when Monster Power came out, I kind of slowly increased it. I started at Monster Power 3, moved it up to, I believe, 4, then 8, then 10. Basically, I didn't want to start with Monster Power 10 because I thought enemies would take too long to kill. This is right here, what you're seeing right now, is what I was afraid of. Taking forever to kill anything. And so the conversation might not have been as interesting enough because, you know, I'm sitting here killing the same monsters. I figured people might get bored of that. So ultimately, I didn't do it. But with Reaper of Souls coming out, and this is a very different philosophy on difficulty that Blizzard is doing right now with this game, I figured this would be a good chance to try it out and say, okay, here you go, guys. This is what we're doing. We're going to try it with Monster Power, or with Monster Power, Torment 1. We tried it with Torment 3. Obviously, on the first couple monsters, I could tell right away that wasn't going to work. But if you guys don't mind this time of killing speed the way it is right now, then great, I'll keep at it. We'll try and get some more interesting commentary. I think it's going to work just because the commentary was all about making builds, and leveling, right? Every time I leveled, there was something to talk about. Who the hell are you? Ebenezer Samuel. Deceased scribe. Let's quickly... Oh, I can't change skills while in combat now. Alright, we're going to go quickly to Splinters. I've got my first rune. 3 poison darts, 65% weapon damage each. So what is that? 120, 180, about 190 in total.
Not ready yet.
So it's going to hit pretty hard. So this is a very good high damage single target ability. Each individual dart doing a decent amount of damage. Now they tried to change the functionality of this ability. Oh yeah. This might take a bit long to kill elites. I'm not sure about that. Again, I'll be looking to feedback for that. Because if it takes forever to kill elites, then I'll want to know if you guys think that's too much. I think they tried to change the functionality of Splinters to where it could only hit an enemy once. And they said, no, we kind of didn't like the way that worked. Which I'm glad they didn't do that, because honestly, Splinters was always that high damage, single target ability.
The mother sleep once more.
I just do not have the overall damage right now. But hey, I leveled again. Sash, some common debris. There's a globe, so let's not touch the globe yet. My dogs are dying quickly, so what I'm probably going to do on this next one, now that I've got another rune for Grasp of the Dead, I'm probably going to replace the dogs and put Grasp of the Dead there. So let's just go ahead and start with the build, because honestly, the dogs are great, but they're dying quickly right now. Without decent gear, without any survivability gear, the dogs are like me, kind of glass cannons. I don't have any passives yet, they're not really... You know, they're soaking up a bit of damage, but they're dying before their cooldown comes up, which is just really not helping me too much. Thank you. Hey, a javelin and a light crossbow. Awesome. Okay, what's better? What's got some damage on it? That's 11.4. That's a one-handed spear. It's got holy damage. Let's do that. Let's do that. This can be awesome. Okay. Skills. I'm going to keep Firebats, so let's just go ahead and replace the zombie dogs when that cooldown comes up, which is now. Great. So rather than zombie dogs, we're going to do the Grasp of the Dead. We've got Unbreakable Grasp. Increase the slow to 80%. So this is one of those things that's changed. It used to be Groping Eels, if I'm not mistaken, was the first one you got for doing damage. But this is nice, and this is what I was talking about. Runes and skills that are designed to slow the enemy do that much more than they used to do, because they want to make it so that your skills and your abilities matter. They're trying to make it so that damage matters, and so you have to be careful about how much damage you take, and part of that is having slows actually mean something. So in this case, the slow amount is 80%. So I'm going to put that down, and I think this is going to be great. I kind of like the way the spear looks in my hand too, with that golden glow here. Just go ahead, and this is Unbreakable Grasp. We'll go ahead and take a look. Now, some of the art has changed on some of these abilities, so we'll kind of see if anything has changed on this. No, doesn't look too different. So we'll slow them down. Look how slowly he's moving. That is fantastic. I like that. Just go ahead and put this down here, and just look at that, and I can kind of... Don't have enough mana to start the bats. Okay, here we go. Dead. Alright, so I've been trying to do these in about half-hour stints, and it is already almost a half hour, and I haven't even gotten to Old Tristram yet. So I'm going to get to Old Tristram, and I think that is going to be a good spot to just kind of say, okay, we've gotten to the first checkpoint. The progress is going to be much slower. That's just a sad fact of the way I'm doing this. Progress is going to be very slow. I'm not killing as quickly. I've got a lot more enemies to take care of. Density is nowhere near as high as it was before. They did increase the monster density quite a bit before the Reaper of Souls patch, but then they scaled it back. Part of it was... But look at this. You can still see there's quite a bit of enemies in certain parts. But part of the reason why they scaled it back was, well, one was server issues. They were having kind of a hard time with so many enemies. But another was, you know, with the way they've changed monster health, damage, and now with difficulties, they wanted to make it so that the world still felt fairly populated, but not as much as it was before. So it is a bit more populated than previously, but than, like, say, at release, but it's less populated than the, like, 108 major population patch that came out. So it's kind of an interesting compromise, and I think it kind of works.
Did the creatures take the treasure?
Just do that. We can kind of just... Quill Fiends aren't going to care. Honey Badger don't care. Quill Fiend don't care. Look at that. They're just like, yeah, we're ranged. We don't care. What are you trying to do with that? Oh dear. This might not work out. Trying to move around so I can... There we go. Hey! Level. Horrify. Now that's going to become important. So, before, a lot of these skills that you unlocked early that did things like Horrify, where it was a... where it was an ability that helped you survive. Those abilities, like, didn't really matter as much before because enemies died so quickly in early difficult, you know, even on Monster Power 10, it was mostly useful for kind of elites. Early level monsters wasn't a big deal, so I didn't hang on to abilities like that very much. But for this, might help. Might help. Yeah, this guy is gonna hurt. I need to... Ow. There we go. Let's kind of move around the corner. I'm basically... This guy is gonna be a challenge for me. Oh, come on. Oh yeah, stay over there. Don't attack me. This works. I said don't attack me. Don't be a jerk. And I hit Q2. Oh no, it was on cooldown. So, I guess this is a good time to take a look at the, hey, they've changed revival things. If you haven't been paying attention to any of the Reaper of Souls, so, and that's kind of what this is too, with the conversation for a lot of this video is going over a lot of what's changed in Reaper of Souls and what's changing in the game for this new 2.01 patch. And if you haven't been watching any of the news videos or anything like that, you know, then you just liked the playthrough or whatever, or maybe you're coming upon this after Reaper of Souls came out and you never saw any of the old news videos. You know, these are things that have changed and things that are just very interesting to get used to. And this is just one of them. The ability to revive at corpse. You have the last checkpoint, which is what it used to be. Now I can just kind of come at the corpse. Now there is something different that came up in a patch note that I didn't know about that they changed when it came to revive at corpse. Supposedly now you can only revive at a corpse 3 times before you can't anymore. Hey, cool, I found 2 items. I found some pants, vitality, some experience, two-handed sword that does 12.7. I'm not going to be using that. Going to stick to the one-handed for faster damage. So yeah, that was me not moving quick enough and dying to a Quill Fiend. It happens, I suppose. Once I get some gear, though, again, that's going to be the big thing. I mean, the downside to this new loot system is that they have really... I mean, you can see it. I mean, I'm just not finding items. I really need some items in order to make this work. And these white items I'm finding are going to become my items. Back up a bit. Okay, let's put this down here. Oh yeah, that 80% slow is a godsend. So we're gonna move around, and we're gonna try not to die. I mean, this is softcore, yes, but I like trying to treat it as hardcore, while still experimenting with builds, right? So I'm gonna experiment with builds, and I'm gonna make some silly moves. I'm going to make some silly moves because there's going to be times where I'm going to want to test something. I'm going to want to say, hey, does this build work if I move here or if I, you know, pull a certain amount of enemies? You know, can I survive certain things? And it's not always going to work. But I am going to try and survive as best I can. Like right now I'm kind of moving around. I'm not going to intentionally die, because the one thing I dislike about the whole revive at corpse thing is that it kind of takes away some of the challenge and risk and reward. Well, I don't want to assume that I can just come up at my corpse. I want to play as if it's going to matter, and I just really don't want to die. So like right now I'm hurting. I'm really hurting. I'm going to pull back a bit more, use my slows, and just kind of stay at range as much as possible until the half man comes after me. Silly half man. Oh, this might not be good. All right, let's very quickly. I did get a new skill. What did I get? I got, maybe it'll be under fire, but yeah, Horrify. I'm gonna have to replace something. This really is a decent skill that will help horrify enemies in 12 yards, causing them to run in fear for 4 seconds. So we'll put that on the 4. Horrify, accept. So we don't have grasp anymore, but I can make enemies go away. Does it cost mana? Nope, no mana cost. So a lot of survival abilities, things that you have to pop in order to survive, to save yourself, a lot of those have had their mana costs and things like that just taken away. I don't remember if Horrify had mana costs to begin with, but some skills did, like healing skills on monks, for example. Healing skills on monks required spirit. So you're sitting there, and in order to survive, you'd have to run up and hit something. But if you're low on health, you kind of don't want to do that. Let's just take her out. There we go. Much better.
I have been healed.
Oh, man. Right, so why would you want to run into combat and hit something in order to survive, right? Because that's the problem, right? You're trying to survive. Fear one, but not the other. Good job. Good going, Kage. You are truly a paragon of expert skills when it comes to playing Diablo, obviously. Oh, and here I am dying to a half man again. Right? I'm using up all my potions. I'm going to buy potions. It's just going to happen. Even potions are not dropping that often. And it is making this very difficult. As it should, right? I mean, that's the thing. I wanted there to be difficulty that mattered. That was my big thing with games like this. I mean, you look at some other games like the competition, and I look at, say, like Marvel Heroes. I mean, it's a great game. It's really fixed a lot of the problems it used to have, but its difficulty is still kind of the old school way of, you know, you're gonna die by taking a bunch of damage at once, and you might not have all the skills you need to get out of it. They're trying to fix that. They have some skills and things like that that work well to keep you alive, but mechanically, Diablo is one of the better games when it comes to combat out of all of its competition, just because it does have the smooth responsiveness. When you do something, when you hit a button, you get that the response. Okay, sorry about that. Had to remove the background noise. Oh, I used that way too early. So yeah, this is going to be a bit more than half an hour because it's already much longer, and I didn't start my timer soon enough. So, all right, so I'm going to kill these guys, and then I think what we'll do is before we move on to the next segment, I will do some crafting so that in the next video we can get right into moving into the next segment. Downside to using Firebats with Horrify. But, you know, as I was saying, the big thing about Diablo, is that the combat is usually very responsive. I hit a button, and for the most part, what I expect to happen happens, right? I can be in charge of my destiny, except for when things like that happen. But even then, they try to make it so that the damage isn't unfair, right? They want to make sure that when you're getting hit by something, there's two sources of damage. There's avoidable damage and unavoidable damage. The unavoidable damage is how you gauge your gear, how you know if you should be surviving in an area. Because if you're taking unavoidable damage and you are getting killed outright, then you shouldn't be there, or you should lower the difficulty. But the avoidable damage is the stuff where you can really showcase your skill and your build. That's the stuff that's really going to make you shine. And Diablo does a decent job of that. I mean, there have been ups and downs and hitches there. I find certain bosses to be really much on the miss part of that for the most part. Playing certain bosses, they typically don't do a lot of damage. They're very easy to deal with, and then some of them have mechanics like Belial, I believe it's Belial, where you've got the narrow passageway where you're fighting him, and he puts a whole bunch of damage on the ground, a whole bunch of green damage zones, and if you don't avoid it, you're going to die. Now, and that's, mechanically, that's skill-based. You can avoid that, and you can win that fight by avoiding that. But it will kill you. It just will flat out kill you. And when he enrages, it's meant to kill you. So some bosses work, some bosses just don't quite, again, hit the mark. Alright, once again, another change. Items will sometimes be bequeathed to you when you complete a quest. So, items are not dropping for me, but I think that we can get around that a little bit with getting items. So, hey, Soul Harvest, this is great. I'm going to get an item that's going to buff me. This is a new category of skill. We are in the Terror skills now. Soul Harvest, 15-second cooldown, feed on the life force of up to 5 enemies within 16 yards. And I gain 2% intelligence for each enemy affected, so I'm going to get more damage. Oh, apparently I also got another rune, Leaping Spiders. Throw a jar with spiders that leap to 25 yards to reach their enemy, and they attack for a total of 238% weapon damage. So there we go. 238, let's kind of compare to Poison Darts and Splinters. What did I say? That was 60, 120, 180, 195, I think. They're about 195. So we're looking at a total of 238. So Leaping Spiders is going to do more damage overall. Again, each spider individually is not going to do as much. But Leaping Spiders I like. If it's, if they haven't changed it at all, then I like it because the spiders will just jump right to the enemy no matter where you throw the jar, and they get the damage done quickly before they die, which is great. So with that, I've got Horrify, Bats, I've got Soul Harvest. I like Horrify for the most part, but then again, I am using Firebats for close range. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to accidentally trigger Horrify. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do because that's really a great idea. What I'm going to do is I'm going to replace Horrify. I'm going to put Grasp of the Dead back on. So that way I've got an ability to slow the enemy, can still use my Firebats, because Horrify really doesn't work very well with Firebats. I really should have stuck with maybe Horrify Grasp or something like that to really make that build work. So I don't think this build is too grand. It worked in some ways, didn't work in others. We're going to go ahead and replace that. Let's go ahead and get Grasp of the Dead, Unbreakable Grasp, and I think we're good. So we've got some Leaping Spiders, we've got the Unbreakable Grasp, and we're sticking with the Firebats. So I think that'll be good. I think we're doing good here. So let's look at some of the items we got. I'm wearing pants that have 2 vital and 2 experience. This one has regeneration and life after kill. This one has vital and experience on it as well. It's got more vital and more experience. I think I'll go ahead and use that pair instead. We'll break the rest of these down, and let's kind of see what kind of salvage I get, because I do think they increased, 6 debris. They increased how much debris you get from these white items. You can see there we go. I've already got 57 now. They also increased how much you get from the blues, I believe. So I'm getting 2 and 3 at a time. So this is fantastic. I'm going to be able to forge some items. I have now not only just the have materials and can equip, but you have the highest usable. I believe that is new as well. I don't remember that when I was crafting previously. And so now I can look at the highest items that I can make that I can actually equip. So here I can actually make 1 rare item with this apprentice sword because I have some items in my chest already. I don't mind doing that. Normally I like doing the self-found thing with this, and I am kind of sticking to that. The rare crafting materials and things like that, because we're on a higher difficulty, I think we're going to need it. So this is still going to be self-found, but I'm still going to have like some materials. I'm not going to outright give myself items. Now, if I get any feedback that says, hey, you'd rather see pure self-found where I'm not using these, I only use the materials that I pick up along the way, we can definitely try and make that happen. Of course, once I start finding some yellows, and I'll start really working on this. So I'm going to go ahead and make this one-handed broadsword. Now everything in here is a smart drop, so we can see that it's going to be tailored to me. It's got damage, hey, resource reduction, life after kill, and more experience. So there we go. It's going to be kind of tailored to my class because of the new smart drop system. I can go ahead and make myself a shield, and I can make some really nice yellow items. So I'm going to make these. I'm going to put them on, and we're going to keep going here. And again, I will be open to feedback. I want to see. I can only make so many because of the common debris. But we're going to go ahead and make a belt. I don't have any boots, so we're going to go ahead and make those. And yeah, pretty much going to make a little bit of everything. Chest armor. Oh wow, I didn't even realize that the armor range is different now. It used to be a pure armor range, or it used to be just one armor level, but now it's got a range on it. So we're going to make a little bit of everything here. Helm. 33 to 37, I'm wearing 19s. I just found those pants, so I'm going to leave that alone. And I'll go ahead and make a shield. So let's see what Smart Loot has done for me. Intelligence, Vital, Life After Kill, Experience from Monsters. So this is probably going to speed up dramatically now that I've got some items. Here, look at this. We've already got Intelligence. Excellent. We're going to go ahead and put that on. That is chest. And we've got some gloves with Intelligence, Regenerate Life. That's the big thing. Getting some regeneration is really going to keep me alive. Now let's look at some of the other stuff I got. I got some, let me see, the gloves I believe we already looked at. Bracers, which give me physical skills, deal 3% more damage. So physical, great. That's my spiders. And Grasp of the Dead. So I'm going to get 3% more damage. The whole skills deal % more damage is a great system here. Just because it allows you to, it doesn't count like when eventually you're going to see. Like here, the 3 numbers of damage, toughness, and healing. The damage percentile doesn't count the percentage of damage. As a matter of fact, the little diamond, I saw this on an FAQ, thankfully, just recently, because I really wasn't sure about this. The little diamond you see by the physical skills deal 3% more damage. That means that skill or that ability does not count in the calculation for additional damage. So whenever you see the little diamonds, you kind of want to pay attention, because even though something might say it's a downgrade, like here, damage, toughness, and healing, it might not be, because some of those items with the diamonds might be important to you. In this case, that physical dealing more damage is going to give me more damage, even though a damage number might not say so. All right, the boots, intelligence, extra gold. What kind of helm do we get? Intelligence, vital, ranged, and melee attackers take damage. So I got a little bit of thorns and monster kills. So we can already see that there's a lot going into this now. And I can, another new ability is I can hold control to see how it rolled. So here I got kind of a fairly decent roll on the int invite. Here I got the top end on the intelligence. I got the low end on the damage, unfortunately, low end on everything. Lowest I could possibly get on these bracers. That's terrible. Oh, what else did we get? Pretty high end on the intelligence here. The life per second is always 1, so that didn't have a range. Let's see. How did the sword do? 3 to 5 compared to 4 to 5, 5 to 6, so low end on the reduction, but the life was fairly high. And the shield, int vital, regenerate life, didn't do too bad. Low end on the vital, more on the high for intelligence. So I like that, so I can kind of see what my rolls were and how well those did. So there we go. I've crafted a little bit of a bunch of stuff for me, and I think we're going to see that this is going to really improve my survivability. So my damage has gone up to 42.69. My toughness is now at 2,088. My healing is only at a 4, but you can see I've got some regeneration now. And my life will start. I need to get some more regeneration. Really, that's going to be one thing. I'm going to want, because life steal doesn't really exist. Life on hit does. But I'm going to need some... I'm basically going to need a bit more of that survivability. Now, to end this out, let's just kind of look at my gear, because I'm looking kind of interesting here. There you go. Actually, I'll hit escape, because you can get a better view of that. I kind of like that you can see this. Okay, so, again, I'm crafting with materials that I already have. So I didn't normally do that, but things are kind of slow in the beginning here. And I don't think here in the beginning it's going to matter as much, and I don't want it to be so slow. I've already spent, again, we're getting close to an hour now, I think. a lot of time just getting to Tristram. So I want to speed things up that way. So I want to keep things interesting. So hopefully that's not a problem. By the time I get feedback, because I might make a couple of these videos in a row before sending them online, because I want to speed up progress, because I'm hopefully going to be able to get through Reaper of Souls when it comes out and start doing a playthrough on that. But hopefully that's not a big deal. So if there's a contention there, please let me know. Now the other thing here is I have Paragon points to spend. Not a lot. 4 points and everything except for utility, which is only 3. I didn't get a very high Paragon level. Does it tell me here? Yeah, I got 15. I could spend these, but typically what I've done is leave these alone to kind of see the baseline. I mean, when we look at the difficulty like Torment, it is really designed for you to have gear and stats. So it may not be a bad idea to put some points into here. I don't have enough points that it's probably going to be a big deal, so I'm probably just going to leave them unspent for now. But it's kind of interesting that we have these now, especially on characters like a new character, where if I had 100 Paragon points, I could pump a whole bunch of points into Vitality and Intelligence. In fact, it might have helped speed things along had I have done that. But, I'll leave that up to you guys that continue to watch this series. So there you go. This is the return of Rafiki, only we're kind of starting anew. I'll be interested to see when the first legendary occurs, because that's going to be a thing. It hasn't happened yet. That's just how low the drop rates were. I'm going to buy potions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for watching the return of this series, and it has definitely been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to doing more.